There is a creature that begins life as nothing more than a small, fragile fish, so weak that it seems destined to be nothing more than food for larger predators. You know it in the Pokémon world as Magikarp, the pathetic orange fish that flops uselessly on land, which evolves into Gyarados, the towering sea dragon that can level a city. But the real story behind these creatures is older than any anime and carries with it a weight of blood, struggle, and merciless transformation. In Chinese mythology, this creature does not live in some safe, whimsical pond waiting for a trainer to catch it. It fights for its life every moment in one of the most treacherous rivers in the world. A place where the current is a living thing that wants to drag you under, where jagged rocks split the water like teeth and predators lurk in every shadow. This is the story of a fish that, against all logic, dares to dream of becoming something else entirely. The leap from weakness to unmatched power is not a gift, not a magical blessing that arrives without cost. It is earned in a way that would crush almost anything that tried. And when that transformation comes, it is not the gentle unfolding of a butterfly's wings. It is the violent birth of a storm, the tearing apart of one form to make way for another so dangerous it can shake the heavens. What you know as evolution in a Pokémon battle is, in the original legend, a brutal trial that leaves countless dead and only the rarest survivors crowned in lightning and thunder. This is no children's fable. It is a test that turns the river into a graveyard and the sky into a battlefield. To understand the truth behind Magikarp and Gyarados, you have to travel to the heart of China's ancient beliefs, to a place where the weak are devoured, the strong are feared, and the line between life and death is as thin as the surface of the water itself. This is the true story, and once you hear it, you will never look at that harmless, splashing fish the same way again. Because behind every Magikarp's vacant stare lies the memory of a legend in which the smallest and most overlooked creature can become the terror of the skies if it can survive the impossible. And in this world, impossible is exactly where the story begins. In the original legend, there is no magic at the beginning, no sudden burst of power or mystical blessing. The creature is nothing more than a common carp living in the vast and dangerous waters of the Yellow River, known in Chinese as the Huanghe, a place that has taken countless lives with its unpredictable currents and treacherous floods. This river is not a gentle home, but a proving ground, where every day is a battle against forces far greater than the fish itself. The carp is not built for speed like a predator, nor does it have teeth to fight back. Yet it is known throughout Chinese culture as a symbol of determination, because unlike most fish that drift with the current, the carp swims against it, pushing forward no matter how strong the pull, trying to drag it back. In the myth, these carps are described as powerful in their own way, with thick, gleaming golden scales that catch the sunlight like coins scattered across the surface of the water. Their bodies are solid and heavy, each muscle tuned for endurance rather than quick bursts, allowing them to swim for days without stopping. The fins are broad and strong, built to push against relentless currents, and the tail moves with a steady, deliberate rhythm, like the heartbeat of the river itself. They are creatures of persistence, often gathering in great schools during migration, each one fighting the flow side by side. Yet every journey is personal, and every fish must face the river's fury alone. The Yellow River itself seems almost alive in the myth, a vast, churning force that challenges the carp at every turn, sending waves to knock them off course and hiding predators beneath its murky depths. For the carp, life is not about easy meals or safe resting places. It is about movement, resistance, and the stubborn belief that every push forward matters. This unshakable will, carved into their nature over countless generations, is what gives birth to the legend that somewhere far upstream lies a place where the carp's strength will be tested beyond anything it has ever known, and for those few able to endure it, the reward will be a transformation unlike anything else in the natural world. Far upstream, where the Yellow River narrows and the roar of water can be heard long before it is seen, lies the place the legend calls the Dragon Gate. It is not a simple bend in the river, but a towering cascade that drops from a cliff so high it seems to touch the clouds, the water smashing down in a relentless white curtain that drowns out every other sound. The surrounding rocks are jagged and black, slick with spray, forming walls that funnel the current into a single furious channel. Here the river's calm is gone, replaced by a violent torrent that hurls itself against stone with a force that can split wood and bone alike. The air is thick with mist, and the current below churns like a boiling cauldron, swallowing anything that slips beneath its surface. According to the myth, this is the final and most unforgiving trial for the carp. If one can reach the very top of this waterfall, leaping from the raging water into the still pool above, it will not remain a fish. In that instant, the heavens themselves will acknowledge its triumph and transform it into a celestial dragon, a being of power and majesty that soars through clouds and commands storms. But to even attempt this is to gamble with death. The climb is not made with steps, but with desperate leaps against the pounding flow, each one a test of strength, timing, and sheer will. The water slams down with such weight that a single misstep sends the carp tumbling backward into the foaming depths, stunned or broken, often into the waiting mouths of predators that gather below. The rocks at the base are littered with scales and bones, silent markers of those who tried and failed. The river does not forgive weakness here. Schools of carp gather at the base during certain seasons, each one drawn by an instinct it cannot explain, their golden bodies flashing in the spray as they hurl themselves again and again toward the impossible. The sight is both beautiful and brutal, a living storm of determination, where only the strongest, most relentless will ever know what lies beyond the Dragon Gate. The journey toward the Dragon Gate is not measured in hours or days, but in years of relentless struggle. A single carp may spend its entire life in the lower stretches of the Yellow River, making attempt after attempt to reach the gate, each time being hurled back by the crushing weight of the water. The climb begins far downstream, where the current grows stronger and the river tightens its grip, forcing every swimmer to fight for every inch of progress. Schools thin out as predators lurk in the shadows, giant catfish that swallow smaller carp whole, birds that dive from above with lethal precision, and even humans casting nets where the fish are most vulnerable. Every season, the survivors push forward again, driven by an instinct older than memory. In the myth, the test is never about raw strength alone. Muscles alone cannot defeat a river that has carved mountains in half. It is the carp's spirit, its refusal to surrender to exhaustion or despair, that the gods watch for. The water is icy in early spring, numbing fins and slowing movements until the body feels like stone. In the summer, sudden floods hurl debris downriver, smashing into anything in their path. The path is littered with the bodies of those who could not endure, their golden scales dulling as the river carries them away. Some carp turn back, retreating to calmer waters where survival is easier, but the dream of the Dragon Gate fades into myth. Others vanish into the depths, never to resurface. And still, there are a few that return every year, scarred and battered but alive, their tails stronger, their leaps higher, their eyes fixed on the cascade that has defeated them countless times. The myth says that the river itself seems to conspire against them, testing their resolve with sudden shifts in current, unexpected surges, and whirlpools that drag them under. Yet for those who endure, each failure is not an ending but a sharpening, a slow forging of body and spirit. By the time a carp makes its final approach to the base of the Dragon Gate, it is no longer the same fish that began the journey. It carries the weight of every fall, every wound, every desperate breath taken in the shadows of death. And still, it swims forward, because to stop now would be to betray everything it has fought to become. The day the carp reaches the top of the Dragon Gate is unlike any other in its life, and yet it arrives without warning. One final leap, driven by every muscle honed over years of failure and every ounce of spirit that refused to break, sends it bursting through the curtain of water. For a heartbeat, it hangs in the air, golden scales blazing in the sunlight. Then its body crashes into the still pool above. In that instant, the world changes. The sky darkens as if night has fallen, clouds boiling out of nowhere and circling overhead. Thunder cracks so loud it shakes the mountains, and lightning spears down to strike the water. The carp's body twists in agony as it begins to stretch and lengthen, the familiar rounded form becoming long and serpentine. Its golden scales turn a deep, gleaming blue that ripples like storm-tossed waves. Twin whiskers sprout from its jaw, curling outward like the horns of a beast, and its fins harden into jagged spines that slice through the air. The tail elongates into a weapon of raw power, capable of shattering boats with a single sweep. When the transformation ends, the pool no longer holds a fish but a dragon, massive, coiled, and alive with an energy that seems to bend the air around it. This is no benevolent guardian. In the myth, the new dragon surges into the sky, trailing black clouds, its roar shaking the valley below. Wherever it flies, winds howl and rain lashes the earth. Villages along the river cower as the beast descends, its eyes burning with a fierce, almost vengeful light. Crops are flattened by sudden storms, rivers swell and flood, and fishing boats are smashed to splinters under its wrath. The carp's long battle has been rewarded, but the reward is not peace. It is power, absolute and unstoppable, a force that answers to no one. The Dragon Gate has granted it dominion over the skies and the storms, and it uses that gift not to protect, but to remind the world that those who survive the impossible emerge, changed in ways that cannot be controlled. In Chinese culture, the legend of the carp and the Dragon Gate became one of the most enduring symbols of perseverance and transformation. For centuries, it has been woven into proverbs, poems, and paintings, often used to inspire students, warriors, and anyone facing overwhelming odds. The phrase, "carp leaping over the Dragon Gate," became a way of saying that through relentless effort, even the most humble beginnings can lead to greatness. But the legend never pretended that such a change came without cost. The carp's journey was not a tale of luck or fate, but of enduring pain, loss, and constant danger. Every leap against the current meant risking death, and for every fish that reached the top, countless more were swept away, their struggle ending in silence beneath the water. The transformation into a dragon was a reward, but it was not a gentle blessing. It was the result of sacrifice, of surviving where others had fallen. This is the part often forgotten when the story is retold in softer forms. The Pokémon version keeps the shape of the legend, but strips away its teeth. Magikarp is portrayed as a harmless, comically weak fish, and its evolution into Gyarados is sudden and bloodless, a mechanic of battle rather than the culmination of a lifetime's war against an unforgiving river. The real myth speaks not only of change, but of what that change costs, the years of failure, the bodies left behind, the understanding that greatness is never given, only taken at great personal risk. In the old stories, the dragon that emerges is not a hero, but a reminder that the power to rise above the impossible comes from enduring the worst the world can throw at you. And that such power once gained belongs to no one but the one who earned it. The Pokémon may share the names and the outline, but the truth behind them is far older, far harsher, and far more human in its lesson. So when you see that small orange fish splashing helplessly in the Pokémon world, remember that in the true legend, that pathetic little fish could become a monster feared across the skies. In the myth, it is not a joke, not a quirky twist of nature, but the end of a path lined with broken bodies and waters stained with the struggle of those who never made it. Not every weak creature stays weak, but the price to change is higher than most can bear. The carp that survives the Dragon Gate is rare beyond measure, and its rise is bought with years of pain, hunger, and endless battles against the current. The Gyarados you know from the games and anime may be captured, trained, and commanded, but in the legend, the dragon answers to no one. It is the embodiment of every hardship endured, every moment of defiance when the river tried to drag it under. It is not tamed, it is not gentle, and it owes its strength to nothing but its own refusal to die. The majority never see the top of the waterfall, their lives ending in the churn below, their dreams silenced without ceremony. That is the truth buried beneath the bright colors and simple battles. A story of transformation that is not guaranteed, that demands everything from those who seek it, and that offers no mercy to those who fail. So the next time you look at Magikarp flopping uselessly as the crowd laughs, ask yourself how many storms it has already fought to get here, and how many more it must survive before the sky itself learns to fear its name.